Hello everybody. Veliki pozdrav svima. Ciao tutti, buongiorno. Bonjour à tout le monde. Kako ste svi? Hey guys, nice to see everyone again. Feels great to continue this self-mastery project that we started on Wednesday with my brother, my friend Shavin. And today we have a very special guest that will be joining us for the second episode of self-mastery project, and the conversations about how we can reclaim the control of our own health, how we can influence directly our own immune system, how can we be stronger physically, mentally, emotionally. And today's guest is someone that perfectly embodies all of these properties. His name is Wim Hoff. Also other names that he's been called with is Iceman. I'm sure you've heard of him. He is in a Guinness World Record books for the longest underwater swim of 57.5 meters back in 2000. He climbed the Mount Everest shirtless in 2007. Is the only man that has ever done that in recorded history. So yes, I'm very, very excited to have him on board today. We are going to talk about his protocol. We're going to talk about his life and the science behind it as well, which I think is very important. And Wim has decided to take what he has developed and discovered as a protocol to the science and do experiments. And he allowed doctors and scientists to do experiments and test on him, injecting him with bacteria that normally should cause a lot of negative immune responses, but you know, he's there, he's alive. He has proven that with the power of mind, power of control, with the body, mind, and soul unity, we are able to be stronger, and we are already stronger, much more than we actually think we are. So I'm going to invite Wim to join us. I'm just going to look for his comments right there. As soon as he's there, I'm going to invite him in. I'm very excited to welcome him today. I've been a great follower and great admirer of Wim Hoff Iceman. I've been doing his method and his protocol for years now, very often going in the ice cold showers and water. And for some of you that follow me, you've seen my videos in the mountain streams as well. There he is. Okay, I'm going with Wim.
Yes.
Hello, my friend.
Hey,
Good to see you, Wim.
I'm going to set something higher, like this. Yeah.
Fantastic, Wim. Thank you very much, so much for joining us today. Thank you for accepting this invitation. It's a great honor to have you. And I've did a little bit of introduction on who you are and what the background is and your protocol, your method. For anybody that is joining us now, you know, Wim Hof is also called Iceman because of the things that we're going to talk about right now. And you have proven that we can regain the control of our own immune system. We can build our strength mentally, emotionally, physically, and align everything into a superhuman power that will allow us to also, in these kind of times of viruses, be more serene mentally, I think, because there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of panic, there's a lot of uncertainty. So I'm really super glad and super nice to have you today with us, Wim. Thank you so much for joining.
Wow, what an introduction. And yes, a lot of respect for your greatness, not only because you are a top sportsman, but because you got out of being number one and then you got back. And that is exactly what I'm talking about. That's the power of the mind. You took it on consciously and came back. That made you even a bigger man than your talent. is already. So that's great. And now bringing it to a bigger audience in podcasts, talking about the mind, body, the spirit, the soul, and not having fear to talk about it is, yeah, it's challenging everything there is, the
Yes.
purpose of life. And it all started with me when I mean, I was very good at yoga and going into the eyes, and I was doing that all alone because it was not known. Everybody was saying I'm crazy, I'm out of my mind. But let me tell you, I just got very deep into my mind. And then something happened into my life. I got a woman I loved very much, 4 children with her. And yeah, we were living. And then she got this mental illness, mental disorder. And it only went worse and worse and worsened, and was very heavy and depressive on our family. Is something unknown happens in a family. You don't know how to deal with it. You don't have very little money, and just on ideals being there, the dream shatters. And what happens ultimately is that she is jumping from a story, 8-story down in a suicide. That means an emotional breakdown, completely shattered everything. My world picture of the world, the way I hold it, the world, to control the world, it was completely shattered, and I had to take care of 4 children. That is asking for self-mastery. But how, when it is not in the books? How, when the whole psychiatry doesn't know how to deal with it? How, when all the yoga I did and all the eyes I did, it didn't help me at that moment. I had to come back with it. And I found there, suddenly, consciously, I found a way, because I was in a nagging pain of a broken heart. When you have a broken heart, it's only you who is suffering. The whole world keeps on going. You have to take care of your children. You have very little money and have to keep on going. Otherwise, you miss it all. You miss out on it all. That asks for self-mastery. And self-mastery begins by going inside. By taking on your own fear, your own blockage, your own suffering, your own pain. Going through the sore apple. Whatever it is, you have to go through. And there is only something that really helps, that is going to help. So no talkie-talkie, no philosophies, no, oh, you got to do this, try this and that. No, nothing of that all. It was the ice water. The ice water every day, going inside, made my mind still. Because what you learn to do in the ice water is surviving. You are not busy with worrying. You are not busy with a broken heart. The pain is gone. The pain is the ice. The ice is the pain, and it demands that you are there completely. And I learned to take on the ice water, the ice cold, as a way to still my mind, to get out of this worrying, out of this broken heart, and get a complete hold within the ice water, staying longer and longer. I loved it. It was like love for something that healed me. It was not like, oh, I love it so much. Oh, Lord. No, cold is cold. Ice is ice. But it healed me.
But sorry to interrupt, Wim.
Yes.
This is amazing, by the way. Thank you so much for sharing it so genuinely and so passionately with all of us. How did that come about, ice? How did it come about? What did you know anything about the effect of going into the ice cold water before that moment happened in your life where you experienced a lot of sadness? Did you know anything about it, or you just?
Yes. Long before I was already into, from 17 years on, 35 it was when it happened with my wife. 17 I was, so 18 years before that, I began to go into ice water. But that was more part of a exercise, was nice, great, meditative, loved it, going to do it, discipline, like you go play tennis. You have to go and discipline, and you build up, and you do it every day, every day, every day, every day, every day, repeating, repeating, go, go. But then, when I suffered the death of my wife, my heart was broken so much, and I could not think of anything that could heal me. But I found out that the ice water going in consciously began to still my mind. It began to, I have to be here, nowhere else. And the ice water makes you being there. I became conscious of this nagging pain going away while I was being in the ice. I never had experienced something like that before. These are the lessons of life. They come suddenly and you don't know what to do. The ice water made my mind still. And that was a great discovery for me. And I always say the ice water healed me. Going into the water, it healed me. My children made me survive. The ice water healed me. Now I'm showing this how to heal from a broken heart, to heal from pain, to heal from suffering. You go back into nature. You find that there is a way past the pain, past the suffering, past the broken heart. It's always there. Don't forget, anybody who is watching this, don't forget for emotional pain, which is, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? If you go into the ice water, you got to be here. And then it goes, and then suddenly this, where it is no longer. And it doesn't play part like ghosts coming up you. And nobody sees it, but you feel it. And that is going to be healed. So I did that, and I became very energetic, because the cold water trains also physiologically the vascular system, cardiovascular system. And the cardiovascular system is like 100,000 kilometers long in every person in the world. And it contains millions of little muscles. And normally we do not train those muscles because we wear clothes all the time. But when you expose yourself to the cold, then these 100,000 kilometers of vascular channels, those are capillaries, veins and arteries, containing millions of primitive muscles, they are stimulated, they are exercised. And then the blood flow goes a lot better through the system to the cells, and the heart rate goes down. That means more energy and less stress. It's amazing. And so I was without any, I always say, get high on your own supply. I got so bloody much energy, and that is because of going into the cold. They say, comfort, comfort, we want comfort. You know what is real comfort? Go out of your comfort zone and get into power. That is comfort. That's all awaiting.
That's wonderfully said, Wim, and you're so right. And one of the things, because I've been a great admirer of yours, and of course of your story and your protocol and your method. I've been using it in my own life for last couple of years, especially since we last met in LA Summit. You remember? And you told me that after that you were going to go to San Francisco to do some studies and experiments. And I will get into that. I want to ask you something a little bit more about the science and scientific experience that were done on you, and what are they telling us. But I want to firstly ask you, when did you develop the breathing part of the protocol and the meditation or mental training part of the protocol?
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's an amazing story, and it's actually genius. You know why? Because I was not there. Because I followed my gut. I followed my intuition. that makes a person a genius. Then the genius is able to come because you are not there. Then the presence is able to, and down inside, and you see the splendor of nature, of your inner nature. And it's amazing. So when I went into the cold water, the first thing you do when you go into the cold water is, that is gasping, is deeply breathing. Is what we normally never do. We don't do this because we have a non-stimulative behavior. But when you do sport, you go because you want oxygen. Now, when you go into the cold, you need oxygen. And if you breathe deeper, more oxygen comes in, body becomes alkaline, and the adrenal axis is beginning to be activated. It's because of the cold, you begin to breathe deeply, then you go so deep that the adrenal axis is being activated, and the adrenaline is shooting out, and you are able to stay for quite long times in ice water, which is a great aggressor. It's a big stressor. But you are able from within, through deep breathing, to make it, it's nice. It's okay. It's okay.
Exactly.
You know, and so then I began, after doing this in 17, 18 years, I was very intensive training and going into this breathing. It's a long time, always doing it alone because everybody thought I was crazy. And I say, I'm still bloody crazy. I'm crazy about life and my wife. But it's not crazy to go into cold water. And now people begin to understand what this all means, especially because it is endorsed with the new science. We talk about this later. But then, back then, I followed my intuition. I got into these breathing techniques, shaped by going into the cold water every day in every winter. And it makes you able to go through the breath and change the chemistry deeply inside the physiology. It's amazing what you can do with that. And then I began to separate the breathing. So I went into the cold water anyway, but then at home, I began to do these same breathing techniques I had been shaping up through going into the cold water every day. And amazing what I saw. Amazing what I could. I could withhold like 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. And I saw all the lights, you know, all what they have been writing in these books about these chakras and the lights. And I saw it all. It was boring. It's so much. You know why it's boring? Because they make it so esoteric, so far away. And now it is just here. And it is here for everybody. And that's my goal. My goal is to make this accessible and effective through science for everybody. We will come back on that with the science, because now with the pandemic, the coronavirus, we took the bacteria inside, injected, doing these breathing techniques. They show to change the chemistry inside so much that the bacteria injected could do nothing.
That's amazing.
And that is what the world needs.
Absolutely. And you before you have done that, before you've conducted yourself with that experience where they injected I wrote it down, it's bacteria and endotoxin, right?
Yeah,
endotoxin, right? So it was basically, it was supposed to challenge our understanding of nervous system, right? Of how it responds, what is your immunity going to respond like to that. And for most of the people, literally 9 out of 10, I guess you are not in that group, you would have quite severe immune response. You would get a fever, you'd start, your physiology or your metabolism would get compromised. But what happened with you? Did you do breathing and cold as well before that, or it was just breathing before they injected bacteria?
Just breathing and mindset.
It was before. It was before, or also after you've done breathing techniques.
No, not before. While I was in the hospital.
Okay.
Then they came with the injection, and of course I said to the guys, "Listen, I'm here to prove that the autonomic nervous system plus the innate immune system, which is thought of through in science, inaccessible, not accessible by humans, but I will show that we are able to access. I'm a human, I'm a man, I'm simple, I'm here. I will show that we are able, in contrary of what you guys have been writing hundreds of years in medical science." And they said, yeah, okay, you try, you maybe, you are, okay, let's go. And then they gave me the injection. My mind was already there, convinced that I was able to go into the innate immune system and into the autonomic nervous system. And this was thought of until then impossible for humans to go into. And I showed it. An hour later, when the peak of the bacteria injected should have made a lot of symptoms, they saw nothing. There was no fever, no uncontrollable shivering, no pain, no agony, no nothing was there.
It's amazing.
It was just, hey, is this it? Because is this it? When is it coming? It should have come there at that moment fully. That means 16,134 people before me in the same experiment got sick, very sick.
And you were the only one, and the first one that didn't get sick.
Exactly. And then after the whole experiment, they saw in the blood that my all the values that I had suppressed, that's what makes us sick. That is inflammation. The inflammatory markers in the blood with me went fully down. And then I said to the guys, to these doctors, but hey guys, you think because I'm the Iceman that I'm special or an anomaly, extraordinary, and only I can do it? I say, everybody can do it. Give me a group of people and I will show that within 10 days, I will train them to go into the autonomic nervous system and innate immune system, wherein science is thinking it is impossible for humans. I will make 100% score with 12 people, give the injections, and they will all get rid of the bacteria. And people finally said, yes, let's do this. We have a control group of 18 or 12 people who are not trained, and 12 people who are trained by you. And the people who were not trained, they really got sick, all. And the 12 people I trained, nobody got sick. And then we had scientific proof for the first time in medical science that the autonomic nervous system can be influenced deeply, plus the innate immune system. And now, Novak, the innate immune system is that what causes all the damage in the coronavirus pandemic. And we have shown the natural ways how to get it down. And they are not using it. I'm really, so I go on. I go on, and next week I got with the San Francisco University.
Yes.
I will instruct 3,500 doctors how to get into the breathing techniques to calm down the anxiety. Because not only you get into the immune system, you also learn to control your mood deeply, your anxiety, you bring it completely down. Because what do you learn when you go into the ice water? To deal with stress, to deal with anxiety. And in the brain, then, neurological pathways are being constructed to connect with the stress mechanisms of the brain. And normally we have no control over that, but that is logical because we never go into discomfort.
Well, basically, Wim, what it sounds like is that all the other wise people from different areas of life, right? That what they have talked about for the last hundreds of years is where your attention goes, that's where your energy flows, right?
Yes.
It's also, it's kind of like also this placebo effect where you are going to be, or you are going to manifest yourself what you are thinking about, and how you set your mind, and in which direction you direct your thoughts, your emotions, and also, of course, consequently, your energy as well. So I mean, I completely resonate with that, because for me, on the tennis court, I can instantly notice the difference in my own perception of this simple experience of being on the court. When I make transformation from being in let's say doubtful state of mind, where I allow maybe some distractions and some environmental factors to affect my focus, my presence, or when I'm completely in line, and I basically just, I am present and everything flows, and I'm not thinking, because it's automatic, because I already have it inside of me, and I put enough work, preparation, and training, physically and mentally, and I've hit enough balls that I believe that I'm ready to win that tennis match. So I go out, and then, you know, I know exactly when the distinction, and when I make this transformation from good to bad or bad to good, whatever, you know, whatever direction. But it's really interesting what you're talking about, because I can feel it on the court. It's the same court, it's the same opponent, and the level or the quality of tennis doesn't change much. It's more or less at the same level. But I control how I feel and how I act in this situation. And by having, in a way, consciousness and awareness of this inner conversation, what is going on, the thoughts, oh, I'm not good enough, he's great, I'm not feeling well, sun is in my eyes, someone is screaming something from the crowds, whatever. If you start going that route and you have no control over your thoughts, and you know, it completely floods you, you lost focus, and that's why you feel completely inferior towards your opponent. And contrary, in the very same realistic conditions, which are exactly the same, nothing externally has changed,
Yes.
but internally, you say to yourself, okay, I train myself, I know I'm good, I believe in myself, I have confidence in myself, I'm gonna execute these shots in best possible way. Whatever happens, I accept it, I recover, I go to the next one. And then all of a sudden, you know, the whole game, the momentum shifts to your side. And it's really interesting, because it all boils down, what we're talking about, to the power of mind that you mentioned at the beginning, yes, of the conversation, right? Because the power of mind is something that we have, that we possess. We can't expect someone else to grant us, or to give us a gift or present, or something that is going to be a cure or a secret of success. We got to do that work ourselves. But what you are saying, and what is, I think, very important message for anybody that is listening now, is that the formula of success in anything in life, even in the successful health, you know, success with your health, to reach the state of health that you want, and well-being that you want to be on, it's solely dependent on you. So you have the power biologically, physiologically, you're born with that, right? So yes, whatever you are doing, is it correct to say that anyone else on this planet can do?
Oh, yes, yes, it is. And you know what? When I lost my wife, I was brokenhearted. I had to heal from the inside. There is only one way. You have to go inside. So that is the emotion. I think the emotion is the top within life. If you are happy, if you are able to regulate your own mood, then you are the master. You are the master. Then it is because you go inside, instead of that the outside is regulating you. You are regulating from the inside. And who does not want to be happy? Everybody wants to be happy, but nobody knows how to find the key. So what I did, when I lost my wife, I had to go follow my gut, follow my intuition, and finally I found myself with so much energy, so here and now in control, if you control your mind, because it is a feeling. And let me tell you, when I went to the university for a new study in brain scans to show, once again, in another study in Michigan, Detroit, where stress was coming upon my body in like cold water, I could, just by using my mind, my thoughts, making the skin temperature not going down while ice water was being poured upon the skin, just by the power of my thought. And how did that came about? The day before, I went into the same experiment, and they poured cold water upon my skin, and I could do nothing. It just went down, the skin temperature, and it went up when the water was warm again. And that they saw in the brain, certain parts of the brain at work. And this is what normally happens. We have a limited power with connected inside of our own brains. This is the way we are schooled in the West. Now, then the other day, they expected me to make a complete change than all those other test subjects who all showed temperature goes down on the skin when ice water is coming in, and you cannot do anything with your mind. Now they asked me, now you are the Iceman, make the difference. That was the other day. That morning I was thinking, how do I have to do this? And I have to do this now in an artificial environment, in a brain scan with cold water coming upon me. This is not like nature on the Mount Everest going, or Kilimanjaro, or being under the ice, or running marathons beyond the polar circle. In short, this is completely different. This is artificial. And then I found out that moment. There was a moment came in. Just be the way you always are when you are so confident going into nature, because before you premeditated it all, you saw the challenge, you felt the excitement, you wanted to do it, you were ready. And
so Wim, did you, sorry to interrupt, but did you visualize when you were in this artificial, let's say, environment being tested, did you visualize yourself being in the nature? You have not.
Yeah, it was not necessary. This is always what I have when a challenge comes up in nature. Up till then, I only had done challenges in nature. So I know that mechanism, how that works. When I feel I can do it, I can do it. Then it's done.
Okay.
But now it was artificial. And then I came at that morning sitting on the 16th floor, looking over cold Detroit. And what is happening? What do I have to do? And then I saw images coming from Mount Everest, from the polar circle, from being in the ice and being always okay. And the confidence I had. And at that moment, it was a feeling. It comes with a feeling. Then you know, I got it. And then there was no thought anymore. I went to the university, talked about this and that. It was all because it was done. The power of the intention then is so good. I went into the brain scan and I astounded the medical world of psychiatry, because I showed parts of the brain at work they thought of is not possible by humans. And now they saw this all robustly activated. And then they said, this is a transformational technique that will change mental health care. And you know what? That it made my mission of trying to find a way that could have helped me back then in '95 when I lost my wife, because I could not do anything in her brain, in her mind. Now I had found the key to go into the deepest part of the brain, which is regulating the mood. It is a robustly, I was activating opioids and cannabinoids while stressful ice water was being on my skin, and my skin temperature did not go down. Cold water come, cold water go, cold water come, cold water go. Skin temperature remained the same. That is the power of our mind. And exactly the way you explain it on the tennis court is also like equal powers being there, but the difference is being made by having this control in your own mind, and you know it, you feel it, there it is, and then you are in the flow.
The power of intention, right? Deciding that you are in control of your destiny, you are in control of your body, your mind, and everything that happens internally. And also by doing that, then you are able to have a better outcome externally. Basically, that's what you're saying. Because if you are telling yourself, we all talk about the power of the law of attraction, right? And science has proven that that there is a universal this law of attraction that basically regulates your desires. So it doesn't answer, it doesn't differentiate good from bad. It just follows your orders. So basically, that's how I explain when people say you are in control of your life, you are responsible for your life. Everything that happens in your life happens for a reason. So all these immaterial, invisible little powers that are and streams that are being created in your mind by your thoughts are actually connected with the entire planet, with your entire life experience. Because if you tell yourself, okay, I am incapable of doing such and such, that's it. It's going to be like that. And you're right. If you tell yourself, I'm confident, I have the power of my health in my hands, I'm going to survive this, I'm going to prove that I am the healthiest person that I can be. And then you do it as well. It happens. And so people call that a miracle, but science and you are saying that basically it's not the miracle, it's the nature. It's who you are.
Exactly. It's who you are. And that is the way we should be schooled in the, say, primary school to begin with, to learn that happiness, strength, and health is completely within our own control. And now we made these techniques and we developed these techniques. We showed them to be able to receive bacteria injected. Then if you do simple techniques, then suddenly you are able to fend off bacteria. If you do these techniques, you're suddenly able to get rid of depression. What is this? This is good. This works. This is my purpose in my life, to make people happy, strong, and healthy. I call it the soul. I want the soul to be recognized for every person in the world, to be accessible, not esoteric or not conditional. You don't need 10 cars to be happy. You are happy as you are, but you have to unwind within yourself and become one with your full potential. I found the keys. I had to suffer the suicide of my wife. I did not know nothing, but the whole psychiatry doesn't know how to tap into real happiness. They don't know how to deal with the depression. The whole science medical community, they don't know how to deal with the coronavirus. And the more viruses coming out, and the autoimmune diseases, and the cancer, etc. Because they lost track with the real potential which we all are born with. And now I'm finding, me as a dropout from school, I find the ways how to tap in, and I show psychiatry all over the world. I show the people, the immunologists all over the world, how to tap into those systems. Because it hasn't got to do with thinking. You got to feel it. You got to feel it. And the
you gotta practice what you preach, basically, right? You have to practically experience it. and
Yes.
leave the theory that you are verbally expressing, basically, that you're talking about, that you're representing. I'm completely aligned with that, Wim. This is amazing. Just wanted to ask you about the protocol. How did you come about, you know, the 1, 2, and 3 minute protocols of breathing? Why 30 breaths in, 30 breaths out? Why more oxygen in and like longer inhale and shorter exhale? How did that come about?
You know, whatever works, and then massively is the one we take. But in the end, I always say, I don't care how you get the air in. If you want to blow through your nose, through your ass, through your ears, through your mouth, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just breathe in. It's vital force. It's the force of life. But because we reach masses, millions of people now, for that we take protocols. And in the protocols, there is also developed the understanding and the effectivity of the techniques to go into the autonomic nervous system, to make the deep changes within. Guaranteed, if you do the 4 rounds every morning, then every morning you will be able to get into the deepest of the physiology, to get into the autonomic nervous system, into the deepest of the brain, and change all the chemistry to your favor. This is what I wanted in the protocol, more or less.
So for everyone that is watching now, Wim, what would you suggest and how to start for anybody that is watching you that just want to start? How should they start? When should they do cold showers? When should they do breaths? Which one goes first, and how long it all goes?
First one is, hey man, do you really want this? Because this is the shit, man. This is good. It works. It's not a lot of blah blah. It's doing it. And you begin in the morning when you rise. You are lying in bed. You are on empty stomach. Why not try it just for once? Because feeling is understanding. We can talk. That is good. What you and me are doing right now is enlightening some obscurity, that deeper understanding and power within is far away. No, it's here right now. And if you do it, then you will feel why and how.
And it's simple because everyone can do it, Wim. Everyone is breathing.
Yes.
So we take it for granted. We think, well, we breathe. What's so special about it? You know, we have to breathe and that's it. You know, we know how to do it biologically.
Yes,
but
exactly.
there is a power, there is magic in conscious breathing, right? There is something behind it.
If my consciousness is able, by using it consciously, to vent off cold water on my skin, make my skin temperature not going down, or injecting a bacteria by using my consciousness, conscious breathing, and then the bacteria has no chance, then that is power. That is a power nobody knows or has really heard of. But you got it. Every person who is watching this, you got that power. And it takes very little exercising. In the morning when you rise, take on the free app on our website. The Wim Hoff method is a free app. We develop it with all the love and expertise and all the doctors and professors. It's all in there. And it's all there. No speculation. Big love, big power coming to you because you are the one to open up to yourself. And that begins in the morning. How? "30 times. 30 times doing this, you become lightheaded, you're tingling in your fingers, you're changing your chemistry inside. And then suddenly you are able to stay in round number 1 for 1 minute or 1.5 minutes without air in your lungs. Like, last one, and you stop. And you watch and you astound yourself. Hey, there's no need for breathing. I feel okay. I actually feel very peaceful. And that is only round number 1. Then you go into round number 2, 30 breaths again. Make yourself lightheaded and feel different. It's great. Do that because you are alkalizing your body. It's all positive. So after the 30 breaths, fully in, you let go and you stop after the exhalation again and you go for 2 minutes. 2 minutes without breathing while having empty lungs. That means a whole lot of physiology is changing deeply. The adrenal axis is being activated. Immune system goes up. Lymphatic system, thought of inaccessible in science, is being accessed into. The cleansing is going on. And that is only around number 2. If they inject you at that moment, then the bacteria has no chance. This they should have done with the virus. With the virus is causing inflammation, the innate immune system activation. You can learn to bring it down. Everybody. So then you do 2 rounds or more, and then you are cleansed for the day. You got a lot of energy because the flow inside then is uninterrupted. You pushed it through every blockage, inhibition, anything that upholds the chemistry goes slowing down, not nice, no much energy. Suddenly it's flowing and it reaches out to all these cells and the heart rate is going down. You feel like great, like light and powerful because you got a lot of energy, and peaceful because your heart rate is really down. That is the breathing.
So good, so good, Wim. And do you, once they do that, once we all do that in the morning, we have the base. But say if later in the day we feel anxiety, we feel like we need to go back to it, do we do a shorter version or we have to do the entire protocol once again?
It's like when the wheels of anxiety go, you do 1 round, it's like putting a stick in the spikes. The anxiety stops. Boom, gone. Because the cell memory will react directly on the extra supplement of oxygen you take in. When you are in anxiety, very profane breathing, then your chemistry in the depth is not good. That is causing the stress. That causes anxiety. So if you begin to breathe deep, you change the chemistry, which is the foundation of the stress. And then you change the anxiety in 1 round. No problem. Just do it.
Fantastic, Wim. Last question, and I'm going to let you go. I wanted to ask you something that I started asking now everyone on this project is because we're talking about health. We're talking about retaining, first of all, being conscious of the power and the control that you have in your hands, in your head, in your heart over your health. First, being conscious of that, but then also we talk about what can we really truly do for ourselves and for the environment and for our close ones and for our communities, for our country, for in our profession, in our private life, so that we could be a positive example and that we can see the change, be what we want to see in the world, basically. So I wanted to ask you, how do you see the world in terms of health perspective in the future? What would you like to see? What is the most ideal scenario for all of the people on this planet?
Yes, happiness, strength, health, guaranteed. That is health. Is the immune system control we have shown in the universities. We have to bring it out. Hey, we have far more control over the immune system. Possible and very accessible, very effective. That can be done in a half hour. Just do the breathing techniques. Just do the cold showers. That is about the immune system. That is the health. Then the happiness. The happiness is about the control over the hormonal system. Endocrine system, they call it. The hormonal system, about the dopamine, the cannabinoids, the serotonins, the endorphins, the whole I always say, get high on your own supply. You are the pharmacist. You are the drug dealer of yourself. Take your time. Be happy because you can regulate that. You can regulate your mood. That is the happiness. That is the hormonal system. We have shown that in the university that we have a far greater control possible for everybody through these techniques over the hormonal system. So the immune system, hormonal system, which is the health and the happiness, and then we get the strength. The strength is about the energy. If we go do these breathing techniques and the cold shower, then the cells get a lot more oxygen inside. It is called aerobic dissimulation. Aerobic dissimulation creates more oxygen coming into the mitochondria, the energy factories of the cell, and create more molecules, more energy. You got all the energy there, what you need, and you got even energy so much that you have to give it away to others, helping, because you got so much. You radiate like the sun. You radiate like the light. Be like the light. You are the soul. So all coming together, the happiness, the health, and the energy, the strength, if they come together, there is the soul. And with the soul, that is the future. The future paradigm is where everybody is going to be happy, strong, and healthy. And where there is happiness, there is no war. Where there is no happiness, there is no stealing of somebody else's and accumulating positions because you have fear that you don't get enough. No, you got it all already. And it's here. And it's now. That is going to be the new paradigm. That is the future. And the future is ours.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Intention.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, my friend. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for spending time and energy and your passion. You have inspired me, and I'm sure a lot of people on this chat are inspired. Please, everyone here, I'm going to save this video. I'm going to share it with everybody. Hopefully you can do it too. And for anybody that is just joining now, please go to Wim's website and download the app. Go through the method, try his protocol. It doesn't cost you anything. Everyone has a shower. Everyone has their breath. And everyone has their stillness. You can do it. Let's go.
Well, let's go. There it is. Great
God bless you. God bless you, my friend. Thank you so much.
God bless you too, man. I love you. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you, Wim.
Keep on.
Bye. Thank you. Hey. Okay. So, wow. That was amazing. That was definitely one of the best conversations I had, for sure. One of the best lives I did. And Wim is a dear friend and someone that truly is passionate. You can see how passionate he is about life, about health, about sharing the message and being the example himself. He went to all the scientists and doctors in United States, in Europe. He has conducted himself in all the scientific experiments, and he has proven that even when you inject the bacteria inside where 99.9% of people would get some adverse physiological reactions, negative immune symptoms, he has proven with the power of mind, with breathing, with his protocol, with his method, that you can overcome that. So this has inspired me a lot. I'm definitely going to do more lives with Wim in the future. Of course, if he accepts. And now I would like to ask you guys to pose some questions if you have for me. We have few more minutes left. We don't have, I think we have 5 minutes. So please ask me any questions related to this live or related to Self-Mastery Project. I'm going to answer in English, and then I'm going to just do a quick summary in Serbian as well to all the Serbian people watching. So I'm going to scroll through some of your questions. Thank you, by the way, for everyone, for your patience, for staying here for an hour and listening to Wim. I hope you guys were as inspired as I am. So I'm waiting for any questions. So a question from Delia Gerge, what have you tried from his methods? Well, everything that he was talking about, basically breathing first, intention, what he said, exactly. Intention is number one. And we talked, Shervin and I talked a few days ago about power of intention, of setting the intention right, knowing who you are, knowing what you want to do, and then you ask yourself the question, how do I do it? Everything else flows. So energy flows where attention goes. So we got to set an intention first, say, okay, that's why every day I wake up and I pray, I do my prayers, and then I do my breathing. I do Wim Hoff breathing. So I do this kind of aggressive breathing of 30 times in and out pretty quickly. And then I would go into the cold shower, and then I would do a meditation, visualization, and sending good energy and good thoughts, projecting that into the day, and imagining my day to be as positive as it can possibly be. Then, of course, you can go into specifics, whether it's a relationship with your close ones, whether it's something related to your business, to your health, wherever you have as a task in your mind, daily task or weekly task, you can, quietly in your mind project project that already happening. And there is really, really power in visualization. I have experienced it on my own example in my life on the tennis court many, many times. So thank you for your question. And because I have just another couple of minutes, I would just, I hope you don't mind, I'm going to switch to Serbian, and I'm going to do a little summary of what we talked about. Hvala svima što ste ostali ovde sat vremena, i znam da video sam kroz komentare da mnogi nisu razumeli na engleskom o čemu smo pričali. Wim Hof ili ledeni čovek, kako ga zovu, je neko ko je stvarno mene lično, a i mnogi ljude širom sveta inspirisao sa svojim životnim primjerom, sa svojom pričom. Nažalost, izgubio je svoju ženu pre 20 i nešto godina i obuzela ga je ogromna tuga, i imao je naravno odgovornost prema svojoj deci, zbog koje kaže da je preživeo, ali da ga je ledena voda izlečila. On je, da bi preboleo tu tugu i taj gubitak, počeo sve češće da primenjuje kupanje u ledenoj vodi, bilo da je to u njegovoj tuš kabini ili u rekama, u jezeru, u potocima, gde god je imao mogućnost, ulazio je bukvalno u najhladniju, gotovo ledenu vodu, najhladniju moguću, i na taj način uspevao da smiri sve te emocije i misli koje su mu dolazile i ta ogromna tuga. I onda je vremenom razvio protokol koji kombinuje ulazak u hladnu vodu sa disanjem, određenim disanjem, i treći deo, znači treća trećina njegovog protokola je zapravo meditacija i trening, mentalni trening, zapravo vizualizacija i na neki način afirmacije pozitivne, da čovjek ima kontrolu, ima moć u sebi i može da može da prebrodi svaki izazov koji je pred njim. Evo, on je dao primjer kako je, evo sad sam pisao sam tu, 2000 ja mislim i 11. godine su mu ubacili bakteriju, ubrizgali kroz venu, i on je uspeo da samo sa svojim umom na neki način iskontroliše metaboličke funkcije i da ne dobije simptome, da se ne razboli, a 99% ljudi pre toga i nakon njega se razbolelo. Tako da on je pokazao da svi možemo to da uradimo i ja mislim da mi ističe vreme. Hvala vam svima, da se ne bi prekinuo ovaj snimak, moram da ga sačuvam, a ne kao onaj prošli. Vidimo se uskoro, radit ću i na srpskom Facebook live, ću raditi sa našim ljudima na našem jeziku, isto vezano za ovu temu i neke druge. Hvala svima i volim vas puno.